Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Now at 5 a.m., the tables are turned on two burglary victims this morning after they are the ones who ended up getting arrested for drug trafficking. More on that story coming up this morning.
Our former UK player is out of the hospital after a fall at Commonwealth Stadium. His family says he's on the road to recovery.
And this weekend marks the last few days to catch the races at Keeneland for this year. Those stories and more, breaking news as it happens. It's coming up on WKYT This Morning. It's Friday. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Good to have you with us as we get this day off and rolling and roll toward the weekend. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Thanks so much for being here. Last weekend for Keeneland.
Yeah, and it's a big one. Of course, UK's homecoming, EKU's homecoming down in Richmond. Lots going on. And let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris to see how the weather cooperates with all of that.
And I think it will, especially for the weekend. The weekend looks phenomenal. I mean, today's not all that bad. It's kind of right there in the middle in the low to mid 60s, but at least we're staying dry. Could you get a sprinkle at some point in the day? Yes, until we get those clouds on out of here. But for the most part, there's nothing going on. There's Live Sky Camera, your shot outside. Temperatures are in the 30s and 40s, kind of depends on where you are. 39 now in Richmond and also Danville. Mount Sterling was in the 30s. Now it's caught back up, and we're sitting there in the lower 40s over toward the eastern zones. Today's forecast at 63. Feels much better than the past few days. It will only get better as we head off into the weekend because it looks amazing, especially there on Saturday where we'll actually be seeing some 70s outside. And I'll break down that forecast for you coming up in about 10 minutes.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you.
New this morning, Lexington teens, two of them who started off as victims of a crime, ended up getting arrested for another.
Yeah, the two were calling for help after someone tried to break into their apartment. WKYT's Mark Barber is live from the scene with more on what led to their arrests. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Bill. Police say the two men were arrested after they called 911 because they say several men were trying to steal their drugs. Officers tell us 5 men were inside an apartment on Gazette Avenue across from UK Hospital around midnight when police say 2 of them left and came back to steal drugs that were inside the apartment. Investigators say the 2 men returned with a 3rd man and 2 guns. According to police, they tried to force their way inside but couldn't, even breaking a gun while they struggled at the door. We're told the men who lived in the building locked the door and called police. Officers tell us when they arrived, they arrested the men in the apartment, Samuel McKinley and Dwight Covington, both 19 years old, for trafficking marijuana. Police are now searching for the 3 men who tried to break in. We're told they could have driven off in a black Cadillac Escalade. One of the men is described as being an 18-year-old Hispanic man with a thick goatee who goes by Hema, wearing jeans and a long-sleeved black shirt with the number 23 on the back. We're told another one of the men is also 18 and was wearing Nike sweatpants and a black sweatshirt. Police say the 3rd person is in the same age range and is about 5'10" and about 200 pounds. Now, investigators tell me that they are hoping the men who they arrested will help lead them to the men who tried to break in. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Well, he was just over a year old 2 weeks ago today. Police say a Boyle County child was killed by a man who was supposed to be caring for him. And now friends of the family gathering together to help raise money for the family of little baby Chris. They say the little boy brought them a lot of joy, so they're trying to give back to his mother. They've launched a GoFundMe page, and they're trying to get donations to help pay for a new start for the family and a headstone for little Chris.
We're not going to be able to find one that's going to be as great as he was, but we want to get close, so we're going to hopefully raise enough money to get him a nice little headstone to remember it by.
If you'd like to help out, we have a link to the GoFundMe page on WKYT.com. Police have charged Joseph Adams with murder for the child's death. A judge sent the case to a grand jury.
A judge has denied a Kentucky death row inmate's request to overturn his sentence. A federal judge ruled that there were no errors in Leif Halverson's case, so the death sentence will stand. In 1983, a jury convicted Halverson of killing 3 people in a Lexington apartment. Police say Halverson and Mitchell Willoughby then threw the bodies off a Jessamine County bridge. Willoughby is also on death row.
2 people face charges after police say a child nearly drowned in a northern Kentucky pool. Florence police say Susan Stacy and Dwayne Johnson have been indicted for wanton endangerment. They say Stacy's 2-year-old son was pulled from a motel pool earlier this month. The child was treated and released from the hospital. Police say Stacy and Johnson left the child in the pool unsupervised. They also say the child was not wearing a flotation device.
The father of a former UK football player who was injured in the fall says he has come a long way in his recovery. Brad Durham is now at Cardinal Hill Rehabilitation Hospital. He fell from the upper deck of Commonwealth Stadium during the South Carolina game earlier this month. Durham had back surgery after the fall. His father says he has short-term memory loss from a head injury, but Durham continues to improve.
He's come through this tragic accident, and we consider him Wildcat tough. He's a tough kid, so and that shows.
Durham's family hopes he will be able to leave Cardinal Hill and go home in about a week.
Well, like it or not, winter is coming and road crews around the Bluegrass are making their plans. Some of them still feeling the effects of last year's snow and ice. Many of them had to order more salt than expected. Road crews in Boyle County say right now they have enough salt for 5 snow events. But this year, Boyle County is only ordering treated salt. They say it's cheaper than untreated salt and it works better in cooler temperatures.
And of course, the contractors or the suppliers, they have to meet the state's demand first. And so we kind of have to wait until those orders are filled before we can get ours.
Road crews also say there's less demand for treated salt.
We now know when Cabela's is planning to open its new store in Lexington. Officials with the hunting and fishing chain say they plan to open in the spring of 2016. The store will be built on Polo Club Boulevard, not far from Costco. Cabela is planning to hire 160 employees for the store eventually.
Eastern Kentucky University broke ground on the second phase of a new science building. The building will be home to the departments of biological sciences, geography, and geology. It's being built next to a science building that opened 2 years ago. EKU leaders say construction will begin soon, and the second phase should be complete by the end of 2017.
All right, and the new president to be officially inaugurated over there today at EKU. Keeneland's fall meet is coming to a close this weekend.
But the final 2 days will be full of activities and celebrations, especially if you are a UK fan. WKYT's Whitney Wetzel's live from Keeneland with a look at this weekend's happenings. Good morning to you.
Good morning. That's right. Only 2 days left to enjoy this year's Keeneland Fall Meet, and today is actually Sea Blue Day. It starts at noon, and it also kicks off UK's homecoming weekend with a pep rally on the hill. UK students, alumni, and faculty will get free admission to the track, as well as access to reserved grandstand seating with a valid UK ID. Today, Lextran will also provide a shuttle for students between UK and Keeneland for just $1 each way from 11 to 5. The shuttle will pick up at Wildcat Plaza. Drop-off is at the hill from 11 to 2. After 2, the shuttle will follow its normal route to and from Keeneland. Now tomorrow, the last day of this year's fall meet, Keeneland is partnering with WKYT to host a daily double tailgate watch party on the hill. Their fans can watch UK take on Mississippi State and also watch the races. Both will be shown on video display boards throughout the racetrack. Gates open at 11 o'clock today and tomorrow, and post time for the first race is always at 1:05. Live at Keeneland, Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.